Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel, Head On Joe Collectible Chronicles. And today, I want to talk about my love for arcade machines and why I'm so invigorated by it. Like, where did it all come from? So, previously, when I first started my channel, I did a video in my introduction where I explained how retro games pretty much shaped my life as far as like where it got me in life. Meeting my wife, keep me on the straight and narrow, keep me, out of gangs and get into a lot of trouble in the area that I grew up in. It pretty much shaped me as an individual. But my love for arcades came differently. So when I was younger, my mom was always my nice parent. She was, my dad was real firm. My mom was a nice parent. So my mom, she always took me to Chuck E. Cheese. She took me to the mall where, she would do a lot of shopping. And she I didn't want to walk around, girl stores and stuff like that. So she would give me, a pocket full of quarters and just send me off in the arcades. And I remember, the first time I remember seeing, what I really wanted that pulled me in was when I went to the arcade and I heard that Ultra Combo. I heard it echoing through the arcade. I was like, wow, what is that? What is that? And then, Killer Instinct was a big thing for me when I first seen it. I literally fell in love with Orchid. I thought Orchid was the most prettiest. Next to Chun-Li, she was the prettiest game character I think I've seen since Chun-Li. Mai, she on the list too, but yeah, Orchid was a girl. She was a girl for me then. So I got really pulled into the combos and how the game was, how the game mechanics was, the controls. Watching how everybody was bunched up around the machine was just so cool. It just really was. It was the bomb for me. And next was Street Fighter. Of course, I love Street Fighter. Street Fighter to this day is my favorite fighting game of all time. My actual favorite fighting game of all time is Capcom vs. SNK 2. I played this game with my friends when we was probably in our 20s. And we used to have tournaments at my friend Ed's house, my friend Nazario house. Sometimes at my house, we would get 211 blacks. And I drunk Bud Light back then. So I had my little 24-ounce cans of Bud Light. I get nice and slizzard before I started playing because I had to be kind of a little tipsy. So in my hands be fast enough for my reflexes and everything. I had to have them spider reflexes to play. And we would just have these all-night tournaments. We would play all night on the weekends. And that's what me and my friends would do, me, Zario, and Ed. And day long, we used to just play. And we played this game all day long. My friend Ed, he ended up mastering how to use the fight stick because back then, I played in the arcades, but I didn't play a lot in the arcades. I was mostly playing on the console, so I wasn't good at using the fight stick, using the arcade stick. I call it an arcade stick, but the actual new term for it is a fight stick. So he got really good at using the fight stick. So it was and just watching him play and just hearing that hit them buttons, it was just amazing the sound of it. I was I got to learn how to play with with an arcade stick. I got to get good at this. So that was a big thing for us back then was playing like that. So backing this up. So my mom, she took me to all these places. And she allowed me to be able to play a lot of times. Like I said, my dad was a firm parent, so he was mostly always working all the time. He was always pretty mean. If I ain't cut the grass, I was on punishment for 2-3 weeks, sometimes a month. He was pretty strict. But my mom was always that parent that I could just go to get comfort. And 2019, I had lost my mom. And I know how things go. People get older. The older we get, I have kids, and you expect your parents to go. It's just the way it goes. They go, then you go, and it just keeps going like that. So, but it was a shock for me when I lost my mom because she was taking care of my dad. My dad was in the hospital. He was, touch and go, had a lot of stuff going on with him. And I felt like every time she called me, she might be telling me that my dad is gone. So, that's how every time the phone rang when I was at work, when she called me, I would rush to answer the phone because I didn't know what she was going to say. So I was really shocked when I got the phone call that she passed away. And she passed away at the hospital while she was taking care of my dad. She went in her sleep. That was really hard for me to accept. It was like I was in denial about it. And the way how my mind works is, I think I have ADHD. So my mind is always straight moving. And the way I deal with grief or depression is I bury myself in work. I have to be constantly doing something, like keep my mind going. It's kind of like I'm dealing with it, but I'm not dealing with it type of thing. But it's how I get through a lot of stuff. Because in life, there's so many things you can't change. Nothing you can say. It is what it is. Nothing you can do about it. So that was my way of coping with it. And through this time right here, I was probably like I want to say maybe 30, 38, 39, something like that. I had to have something to keep me going. Just I got my family, and I had a lot of things in my life going on. But that was a major strike for me. I really wanted to purchase me a house and let my mom see the house that I finally was able to do it, and it just that moment it's gone, it's past. So during that time, I had to find something to get into. So I used to start collecting pops, and I would buy literally 3 or 4 pops a week. Every time I got sad, I might buy 1 pop. And that's how my hobby first started, buying the pops. And that's why I got a whole closet full of pops. I got a whole closet full of pops because of this. And I would just buy them. And I was staying with my son while we was stacking up the money to purchase this house. So I was filling up the closet, in the room we were staying in. I'm filling the closet up with pops and everything. And, I'm getting, a lot of fulfillment from purchasing the pops. I'm getting a lot of, it's like my mind was fixated on the next pop to get. So it kind of like, it was making that happen. But it really wasn't enough. I ended up going down like a downward spiral that you call like a midlife crisis. And, doing a lot of stuff and that I'm not too proud of. But, it just, I guess just how it just be. But eventually, I got myself together, got my head right. And I really even think about it to this day, because now I'm thinking about it now, how my mind is now, how I'm rewired now. The money I spent doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, I could have bought a lot of arcade machines. So that's kind of how I think about that now. So what happened was, once I got myself together and I started being focused on trying to buy this house, I think I ended up getting on YouTube, and I ended up seeing Michael B, the Game Genie video. And, I'm watching Michael V, and he was talking about X-Men vs. Street Fighter. And I'm watching the video, I'm like, oh man, they got arcade games of X-Men vs. Street Fighter. I think I seen like Turtles, the arcade one up in Walmart. But I used to rarely see them. It was like here or there, sprinkled here or there. I really didn't pay much attention to them. But when I watched his video and I watched how he was like so into it, like he was so engaged, and it was really like, I fed off of the nostalgia that he was feeling from playing the arcade machine. And I hit that game when I was a kid. So I remember the game, and I was like, this would be really cool to actually have a home arcade. Like, this would be something, really something. And I'm watching his videos, I'm looking at all the arcades that he have in his rooms, and I was like, man, this is so cool. I would love to be like that. Like, just to be surrounded, by arcade, like, anytime I want. I thought it was just the awesomest thing, I could fixate on. So I got my I ended up trying to order my X-Men vs. Street Fighter, but I was late because, like I said, I really wasn't into them at that time yet. I was into the original arcades, but I didn't know. This is how I first got introduced to Arcade 1-Up. So when I purchased the X-Men vs. Street Fighter, when I was trying to purchase it, it sold out. You know. So I was like, okay, bet. So I ended up putting NBA Jam on layaway. Because like I said, I first started going this back in this time, it was like $300 on cab, so that wasn't too bad back then. So I put on layaway, you know, some wife on trip about it or whatever. I didn't want to spend that much money at one time, you know. So when I went to go pick it up, when I paid my layaway, they had X-Men vs. Street Fighter in Walmart. They had 2 of them. So I instantly canceled that layaway. When I paid for it, canceled that layaway, took it back, and I got me X-Men vs. Street Fighter. And I think I got like $160 back because the NBA Jam was actually higher than X-Men vs. Street Fighter. And I mean, I was so happy. Like, it was crazy because it was like, I want to say the euphoria that I felt from making my purchase, knowing that I actually had what I wanted. I actually had my own arcade machine. It's hard to explain. Like, I didn't even put it together because since I was staying with my son, we would pretty much stockpiling all our stuff in his garage. So it just went in the garage. But just the feeling I felt of just, you know, picking this heavy machine up, lugging it into my car, and I think I had my convertible. I think that I haul a lot of these with my convertible, which is crazy enough. But that's how I got it home. And just the idea of just trying to pick this thing up, and, you know, it's like 60-something pounds, and trying to put it in the garage and explaining to everybody what I just did with this money and, you know, my purchase. It was just crazy. Just the whole feeling, like I was so excited about it. And I'm still watching more and more videos, more and more YouTube content. You know, I started watching Console Fanboy. I started watching Michael Alltrades. I watched She-Line Gaming. Just like a lot of different gamers that's like big in the arcade scene, and I was getting inspiration from them. Just engaging in this feeling, like, because it took my mind really off of a lot of that stuff that I was dealing with. So, you know, when I got X-Men vs. Street Fighter, you know, I ended up getting Marvel vs. Capcom 1. I ended up getting Mortal Kombat. I ended up getting Pac-Man. I was just stockpiling. So when I finally closed in this house, and, you know, I put down, you know, my 3.5%. I was able to, you know, realize my dream and able to build my room. And I have enjoyed it ever since. And it's so fun to be able to experience this. And I use it kind of like for therapy, because it's like I say, it's my way, it's my escape to be able to be a kid again. You know, like I say, life is really hard, and there's so many things that you go through that you can't control. And when for me, when I was a kid, playing these arcade games, playing the home console games with my friends, it was a simpler time in my life where I didn't have no pressure. I didn't have any financial stress. I didn't have anything. I had all my parents. I had a close relationship with, my sister. She didn't stay all the way in Kansas. It's just, I had a different life at that time, and I'm, tell y'all that little story right there, and just let you know how I got into home arcades. So, like, if you have any, any stories you want to share, share in the comment section. Let me know what got you in the home arcades. I'm curious to know. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. Pretty much on my channel is what I talk about. Arcade 1-Up stuff. I do plan to go maybe to some at-game stuff. Premium statues by Sideshow. You got the Funko Pops, and sometimes I talk about movies as well. I did see Quantumania. It's pretty good. I will say, I didn't kind of like the CGI with MODOK. I kind of feel like, in my opinion, they could have left that character out the movie. But other than that, the movie was pretty good. Jonathan Majors was amazing. Very, really, really good. Really menacing. I don't know if he's like Thanos level yet, but I can see it coming. But the movie was pretty good. So if you're a Marvel fan, go check it out. And that's all I got. Till next time. So thank you for watching my channel. I plan to have some content coming soon. I was thinking about making another custom cabinet. So hopefully I'll be able to share that with you soon. And until then, peace.